Last time, our party assisted Delilah in finding her lost partner, looking through her ship, the black markets, and even some of the most damp caves until they found him, only to learn that Moody Greyshaw had changed him in repayment for a debt. Worse, the party now finds that this strange Moody character has arrived in Portisk, and they need to get out of this black market very quickly. You guys find yourselves in this large cavern, of which the roof towers above you. This place, now that you have a better look on it, people bringing lights with them, has not only the barnacles on the far wall away from you, but an almost shanty town built into the rocks of this place, and built into the pillars of these buildings. And from what you can see, many people inside of who now sort of leave and all start to cheer and celebrate as Greyshaw's ship is tied up and anchored. You can see people heading onto this ship and taking from it all sorts of goods, and seemingly carrying these goods directly into, onto wagons, and then these wagons heading towards the black market. Moody himself takes a step off of his ship and sort of heads down with this small little smile on his face as he passes by. Well, I'd like to say I could stay here long for all of you lovely lubbers, but unfortunately, obviously, I've got to make my way off to the Rooks. But obviously, I've got to drop some things off, and who would want to give their captain a nice little drink while he stays? And you see there's this sort of cheer, and he heads into one of these buildings built into this assortment of these wooden buildings on top of each other over and over and over, and steps into one of them, followed by seemingly his crew, while the rest of the people unload the rest of the ship. You all feel an almost chill on the back of your spine from just being here, but you cool yourselves and calm yourselves. What you guys want to do?
Glare. Just full Quarry is glaring at this captain from like where he's being carried or standing, just full on hard stare at him from wherever he is.
You give this glare as he does his entire walk into the building, and you actually notice for a moment he almost seems to not glare back, he seems to turn his eyes directly towards you for a moment before he steps into this tavern.
I imagine Buck would be so caught up in everything that's going on that he would just mindlessly start unloading things along with the other people.
Well, you wouldn't be allowed near the ship, so that helps you with that one. You could maybe try and get near and help people unpack, but they sort of seem very defensive and seem to keep you back.
Okay. Buck will just slink back off then.
Okay.
However,
the coin was one use, and you guys originally wanted to do more shopping before we had to leave.
yeah.
Do you consider this a plan changer?
I don't have that much money left anyway, but I don't really know what to make of this, to be honest.
Trouble. It's going to be trouble.
I agree with the little one.
Or just leave.
I think we should just leave. That way we don't cause any trouble.
For now. We'll get him another day. Quite still at the door where Greyshaw went in.
Oh, I mean, we have to tell...
So, big scary beast, right?
I mean, Mr. Delilah's husband did ask us to tell her that he's dead, so she won't come investigating any of this.
Yes, we do have that news to deliver.
Seems a bit kind of scummy situation all round. If you really did set her out, shouldn't we do something about that?
I mean, he is like,
I don't think there's anything we
I mean, he's like a barnacle
can do.
now.
I don't think it's within
I
our
don't know if
means
that's
to.
like sufficient retribution or not.
I mean, there are like hundreds of pirates here, and they're like all loyal to the big guy. You planning on taking them all on yourself, little one?
He's still looking at the door in a very stern voice. Says, yes, every single one.
I think Buck would basically like start trying to pick up Quarry and carry him off.
You pick him from underneath from the armpits like a child, you know.
Yep.
Swaddle him up, yes. Just pick him up and swaddle him. Like a baby.
I'm a big boy.
So, if you wish to make your way out, you obviously can head the way you came, back through the black market. But again, your coin was one-time use.
Do you
so
think
to
anyone here knows
re-enter,
how
you'll
we can
need to
get another one of them?
get your hands on
coins?
another coin somehow.
You should have taken an imprint of the coin.
Kato will, we'll see if this will work. Kato pictures the coin in her mind and will cast, Prestidigitation, which allows you to, I'm pretty sure this is the right spell, let me read. Create a non-magical trinket, that can fit in your hand. And lasts until the end of your next turn. Actually, that's pretty short, but she does it to see if she can recreate the coin.
You are unable to recreate the coin,
Huh.
because it appears to be a magical trinket.
Buck, you wouldn't happen to know how to to get a coin like that again, would you?
You suggesting I might know something about getting into the black market?
He does not. He's an honest man.
Yeah, what Corey said. I would know nothing about such underhanded
This place is
things.
nothing but a hive of stolen goods, innocent people's goods.
Well, Buck, I'm not in trying to imply anything, but you seem like a man who's so quick to pick up things, so clever. I mean, look at what you did with the Riddle Master, and you seem to pick up so quickly how to navigate around the market. I was just asking based on what I've seen so far.
Buck's indignation has given way to just full-on blushing at the compliment. I mean, I might be able to figure something out if we need to come back for
We could,
some reason or
ask one
other.
of them vendors back there to tell us how to
It
get a
nods.
coin. I don't know.
That's another option. It definitely should not be the Riddle Master, though. He didn't take kindly to his, riddles being solved.
Maybe we should just come back with the local militia. Just clear out the whole place.
Don't think that is going to happen.
Maybe we just push over a couple of lanterns. No, people could get hurt.
Buck is looking for something shiny to distract Quarry with.
I'm not some kind of magpie.
Yeah, but that over there is looking pretty shiny.
Quarry starts up where he's like where you're carrying. You put him on your shoulders. He
Yeah,
just pulls,
sure.
like your hair. It's like I am not a bird, but that is very shiny. I'm not a bird. I want to get out of here. I don't like this place.
Well, you've been making your way towards the exit as this happens, and now you find yourself. The staircase you took in appears not to be a way out, but you see that there appears to be another exit.
Let's head out.
Okay. Well, as you make your way through this alternative exit to this place, you actually find yourself heading down this long alleyway, which then turns into this staircase. That, when you leave, this door seems to open, and once you step out and close behind you, you find yourself standing in a large library.
Did not expect that.
With you in one of the backmost areas of it.
That's a lot of paper. Should we alert someone that we're here?
I don't think this is the situation. Draw attention to ourselves.
But
You know, but
there
those who
should
look
be a
for one will find one
librarian
eventually.
here, right?
Give us a public library.
You can always trust a librarian.
Oh, I know how to get the librarian's attention. I just have to start making loud noises, and then they'll come yell at us.
Please don't. Maybe we should just exit quietly without drawing the librarian's attention.
I imagine Buck would do like a dad sneeze. And it's unsure whether he did it on purpose or not. But it is loud.
The librarian flinches.
Well,
Is there no librarian coming to shush us around the corner?
It doesn't appear like they're... Well, how loud a noise are you making?
It's a dad sneeze. You can definitely hear it if you're like on the first floor of the library.
Well, they won't... They're not the ones that care about a sneeze. They understand that people are humans and therefore do sneeze.
Alright,
No.
fair enough.
thank goodness. I thought they were going to come and beat
I
us.
agree with Ilarion. If this is a public library, I think we should just walk out and not draw attention to
Well,
ourselves.
onwards then.
Okay. Walk, Buck. Go. Onward.
Buck marches obediently.
I am a valiant knight on a valiant steed. Oh, sorry, that's too loud.
As you make this noise of telling him to march onwards, you actually do hear this voice that just goes, shh.
Wait, sorry.
But you didn't hear where it came from.
Ninja librarians.
Again. Shh.
No. Ghost librarians.
Oh gods.
Did you say ghosts?
Oh, yes. There are ghost librarians. Okay, let's get out of here before they eat us.
Buck starts running.
Buck, you begin to run. And you run for a while. And you run for a while. And then you realise you're back where you started.
Did I must have gotten lost. Let me try again.
You try again and you run and you run and you run and you're back in that same area you first entered from.
Oh, okay. I have a plan.
What is it?
Quarry pulls Bright Roar from its sheath and jumps down off Buck and kind of striking his most valiant pose. It's like, let us pass,
Why have you got your
spectres.
sword, then?
We mean no harm.
Buck is trying to hide behind him.
You hear this loud
Oh.
shh coming from all around you, and then you look up for just a moment, and you see this, not a ghost, but this creature on the ceiling with these 8 appendages, 4 on each side, crawling across the ceiling towards you.
He just points his clawed finger up, indicating to the others as he is petrified.
Buck is... I can tell it's not a ghost.
It does not appear to be a ghost.
Buck is no longer completely petrified, but he's still, like, hiding behind Quarry.
Yeah, all of you are almost alerted to this thing, and you can see it slowly crawling across this ceiling. And it appears to almost be perhaps leaking or dripping this black liquid which is falling onto the floor around you. And you see it suddenly turns its head, and its head turns with this creaking noise as it stares down at you, and with no mouth,
Not too disrespectful,
again
but when
the
the name
same
Wally's
noise.
ballsack is that thing.
What do we do?
you can
Oh
make
God.
me
I'll roll one.
Arcana checks to see if you can see what the liquid dripping
Quarry
from
is
it is.
slowly bringing out a javelin.
I got a 15.
Is that all of us?
Yeah, and no, actually, any of you who have, any of you can make it. I'll say.
Oh, now 20.
Well, that's a natural 20. Nat 20 from Kato. You recognize, Kato, this liquid somewhat. You have never seen it, so to speak, but you've been taught of it. Probably through some of your earlier trainings. It is this black liquid, similar to an oil, except it almost seems to rise rather than fall in terms of, like, in water. It rises to the top, same as an oil would, but this one almost seems to pollute the water it's within, and has no reflection in it, because it is aether. And you would astutely guess that beast is an aether beast,
Should I
as it crawls across
should
the
I
ceiling.
throw the javelin? What are we doing?
Kato puts a hand on your javelin if you've withdrawn it and push it down. And will keep her voice measured as she speaks to it, measured, quiet, and just say, I'm sorry for the noise. Please let us leave and we won't disturb you any longer.
Can I try and... Would I know if this counts as a beast or an animal, despite its origins?
I would say you wouldn't know the
Okay,
classification
well,
of this thing, so
it's
to speak.
rather
That
sharp,
would be
so
definitely a
I'm going to
difficulty to
just
know.
I'm just going to clench my hand, and the sort of lines from on the tattoo on my hand will sort of inch their way up to my throat, and I will cast Speak with Animals. You see,
Okay,
it says
you,
it says
so what does it give
with
you the capability to
beasts,
speak? Does it
like
specifically
anything
say
that falls
creatures?
under
Or
beasts.
what?
The knowledge of awareness You're going to comprehend and verbally communicate with
does it
beasts,
mention
so
they
I
can
can
speak
understand
back?
what they say, and I can speak to them. I'm using my primal awareness feature. Yeah, I'll try
Okay.
to. I don't know if this is going to work, but I will try
You
to
can
say.
attempt to speak to it, yes.
Yes, sorry to intrude on your domain. My friends here mean no harm. They just got very excited to be in this wonderful library. So if you could allow us to leave, we won't bother you anymore.
You realize, and I think I'll give you this knowledge since it's fair. It can't communicate with you. It does not have a mouth. It is incapable of speaking. This shushing noise doesn't appear to be it speaking or trying to communicate. It appears to
God,
make
I don't
this
think this thing
noise
can
almost
talk.
instinctively.
At least not verbally.
I think we should go.
I mean, I guess we could always remove some books and hide in the walls. I like that plan.
Buck is going to start, like, trying to tiptoe away.
Valerian's following.
Quarry's following as well.
Okay, make me stealth checks.
Jesus!
Let's see how stealthy Buck is.
That's an important question. How stealthy is Buck?
Buck got a natural 1.
For a total of 6.
6. So Buck, like, immediately, like, knocks down a pile of books.
Yeah, you trip on something like right away.
That I imagine the Valerian also trips over with an 8.
Quarry's armor just rattles as he moves because he's shaking so much.
Who hasn't rolled? Okay, you guys definitely, those of you who tried to move quietly, immediately make the most noise possible for someone to make. And, I'll say that you realise you've made that much noise at least. And again, you hear, shh.
Is the creature coming closer to us, or is it...
It is, it's continuing to move.
Buck is very scared. His teeth are
This
chattering.
slow, methodical pace of
Quarry
this thing.
just kind of like puts his hands on his arms and he's just kind of head looking down, eyes closed, walking forward, just muttering, "Don't forget, no, there's nothing there. Very much as a
I mean, I
child
think
would
I've probably,
become
like, seen
petrified
some wild
with the-
animals before. Does it seem to me like this creature is coming towards us, like, in the sort of, like, I'm going to eat you way, or more like, sort of an inquisitive, I want to see what that weird clanking thing is way? Okay. That's a natural 1 for a 4. This thing is too
Roll
spooky.
me animal handling. Oh, this thing, you are not at your A game right now. This thing is absolutely terrifying.
Do we-
I know you can't respond back, but if you know the way out, please take us there, or guide us, or just help us out here, please.
Does it understand you? Do you think? Because you're not using speak with animals.
Kato has no clue, but she is trying.
Well, I can't fault that. Nothing wrong with trying.
If we just keep
I'll repeat
walking,
what Kato
we'll
says if I
eventually
feel like it
find
understands
the
what I'm saying. I'm not sure if it does.
You see it move again, its neck with this long creaking, cracking almost sound as it continues to move towards you. Each step it takes, it seems to almost pierce into the ceiling with these sort of claws, leaving these holes behind. But you notice after a few seconds, these holes almost seem to heal.
DM.
Yes.
because I want to take the responsibility out of my hand, could you roll me a d20, please? Because
I don't like the fact you want to take this out of your hand.
Quarry is deeply panicking right now, and he's very scared.
Roll me a d5. Roll me a d5, and then I'll just judge based on that. You roll a d20.
Okay, fine.
It has to stay in your hands.
Low, under 10 or over?
Over.
Quarry immediately the shaking reaches a point, and he grips his arms, and he opens his eyes, and he tries to supplement the absolute fear he is feeling with just blind courage. So he immediately grabs the sword, turns his and just instinctively just goes for a bellowing roar to try and when it's fought by a bear, he's just screaming at it, hoping to just ward it off. He's not thinking properly.
Roll me intimidation.
20.
You let out this loud roar as you hold on to this weapon, and you see the creature moves again towards you. This time its neck almost seems to twist the entire way around, and you get a good look at it now, and you see that it appears to actually not have a mouth, but have almost an upper jaw with these long, sharp black fangs and sharp teeth built into it. And it lets out this loud roar again. As now you get a look at its body. It is these 8 legs are appendages, very arachnid-like, and it almost has feelers at the front, very similar to an arachnid. And the body shares a similar shape, but the face is almost just like a sphere. This sphere with nothing upon it, no eyes, only these fangs, no mouth, no ears. And it, despite not having any of those things, it almost seems to sense you and lean towards you and let out a loud...
Roughly how close does it lean in?
It is right above you all.
Just a panicking Charles question. Within 30 feet?
Within 30 feet.
He panics. Lightning, just breath immediately following the roar. Quarry just summons forth this, what to him is his grandest weapon, and just feebly just shoots out a ricochet of lightning from his mouth, he doesn't know what he's trying to do. He just wants it to go away. Could it make a dexterity save, please?
Well,
me as a player knows this is a bad decision, but Quarry is terrified.
I feel that if the beast came this close and is menacing on Quarry, and Buck can see that Quarry is so scared, Buck would probably try and shield. Which, if he's about to let go of lightning, I think Buck would just take the lightning.
I'll say no, because the lightning would go past you irregardless. You can't stop the lightning. The only thing that can stop the lightning would be a wall.
We try and
can all of you see the map? Are you able to see the map?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to fix. Okay, that's a problem.
We can't stop the blast, but can we try and redirect it? Is that possible?
To redirect it.
Yeah.
You can attempt to no. Actually, I think you there's nothing you can do to stop this. I would say, a breath weapon is this innate, almost immediate ability. It would be the same as Quarry yelling, but instead of yelling and words coming out, this lightning just suddenly spews out of them.
I imagine this is less that he super wants to do it, and more this is his instinct because he feels threatened.
Yeah. This I'd say that this isn't a like pre-actioned ability. It would be, you would not be able to really prevent this from happening. So it will make a dex save.
Come on, lower than 11.
A 12.
DC 11, but it's still a little.
What damage does it take?
I probably need to reset that. So it'd be 3, so 1.
Okay, it takes one tiny bit of lightning damage.
Sudden attempt at injuring it, and then he just brings up his shield and sword. His entire arms are shaking, and the facade of bravery is withering away in the face of this.
It seems to twist its head again and let out this again. No, not an attempt to speak, merely almost saliva, this black goo dripping from this upper jaw before
Oh boy.
it lets out
take
a
your
primal
tokens.
and I need everybody to roll me initiative. Yeah, click your token. So now you have a pretty good look at this thing now, and it is giant. It crawls across the ceiling and has such a height to it that definitely quite the intimidating creature.
How do you do initiative? I'm sorry.
Click on initiative. Click on oh, you're on D&D Beyond, aren't you?
Yeah.
You rolled an 8. I'll just add you.
Sorry.
So Buck got a 22 for initiative.
Thank you.
Okay, so up first would be Buck Eugene Mucknuck. Buck, what do you want to do?
Buck would scoop up Quarry and run away and hide.
You have half movement if you're carrying someone beyond yourself, regardless of weight.
I can use my action to dash.
Yeah, which will give you 30 feet of movement.
And I can use my bonus action to hide.
You can indeed.
So I will go 5 feet and scoop up Quarry. And then go 25 feet and try and hide probably behind this. Is this a table?
No, that's not a table. It is a bookshelf.
I will try and drag Quarry and hide behind the bookshelf.
Quarry is just arms rigid as he gets lifted up. Just he doesn't even resist.
Well, if you resist, it wouldn't happen. So it's good you don't resist. Yeah, you are carried away. And now I need both of you to roll me stealth to hide.
Buck got a 13.
Well, actually, no, only you be able to roll this because you can roll on your turn. Quarry, you can roll it because obviously only rogue can do it as an uncanny. Okay. On its turn, you are now left, Kato, as the closest person to this thing. As you watch it unhook all of its claws from the ceiling, and these 8 legs let go and it begins to drop. But before it hits the ground, its entire body seems to flip. So that its claws now point at the ground, and it slams into the ground with these claws. And it lets out another roar. Before it sort of like slices right towards you. Let's see if it hits. 15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
12.
Oh, you save. So from this, you only take the 9 piercing. But you feel that there's definitely more than just the claw in its attack. It almost feels like the aether is trying to seep into you, but your body's too strong and almost like expels it from the bloodstream before it can cause any damage. Okay, Sylvester.
To draw my bow, like so now, one eye, and take aim at this creature, as the mark on my hand begins to glow again with greenish energy, sort of crackling along it. I'll use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on this creature, and I will then step back a bit and take a shot at it. 17 to hit. Right, and I'm also going to apply my Gathered Swarm to this arrow. So you see, as
That'll hit.
the arrow flies, like, the mark on my hand almost seems to separate and take flight as a trail of these greenish lunar moths with like pale green wings and a silvery body will follow the arrow and seem to start to swarm and bite into this creature as the arrow strikes it, for a total of 23 piercing damage. And I will use the rest of my movement to duck behind this bookcase and end my turn.
Okay. Yeah, you hit this thing and you see it almost seems to let out another sort of scream of pain as you hit it right in the carapace where it seems to be less protected by its armor, like the meeting between the carapace and the back of it. Kato, what do you want to do?
Kato immediately presses a hand to her wound and calls out, "Careful, there's something more to its attacks." And then she uses her bonus action to cast Hex and give it disadvantage on wisdom checks. And as she does, condensation goes around its face until and irritates its eyes, making it harder for it to perceive things and other such things related to wisdom. And then Kato will pull back from the wound and raise her fist and punch at it.
Okay. Roll to hit with your fist.
Yeah.
You've told us.
Yeah, it seems to take quite a decent bit of damage from your first punch upon it, and it lets out this sort of annoyance at the confusion it seems to be facing from your hex. Anything else?
Kato will stand her ground. That'll be her turn.
Imagine if we
Okay, Illyrian.
outside and
What do you want to
this
do?
is just the librarian. We've just assaulted the librarian.
Don't say that. Illyrian is going to free action panic. And just quickly say to Kato, if I cast a spell on you, do you trust me?
Go ahead. I trust you in this.
And bonus action, Dragon's Breath on Kato. And so Kato has the ability to do cold damage, and until the spell ends, Kato can use an action to exhale a 15-foot cone of cold, essentially, on her turn. And then Illyrian's gonna move back a bit, and as an action, actually a lot, like 10 feet, and as an action will point a finger and cast Mind Sliver. So
Okay.
I would like an intelligence saving throw DC 13, please.
That is a 14.
Okay.
Seems to just be beating the DCs today.
Yep, nothing happens.
Okay. Was that your turn?
Yep, that's my go, thank you.
Okay, Quarry. And then Buck is on deck.
Free action panic. Quarry.
All of you seems to be using your free actions to panic.
Quarry
That's
is
strange.
kind of like half sunk to the floor, and he's like turns to Buck like, "What do we should we just hide? We should help. We should, you know, fight."
Buck looks like he's like hunkering down to hide.
Quarry is overcome with fear, and he is going to using his action, he is going to cast heroism
On yourself or on
on himself.
Okay. So you are more sturdy, certain. You cannot be frightened. And what is your spellcasting modifier ability at the moment?
It is plus 6.
So 6 temporary
I
hit
imagine
points.
Quarry grips Bright Raw tightly and tries to pretend that it's radiating this powerful divine light, and he kind of lets this power kind of course through him as he feels, even though he is not statistically frightened in character, he is terrified, and he feels more confident as he rushes out once again. Next to one of his companions, and he is just going to put up the shield, bring out Bright Raw in a defensive position, and let out what must sound like a small bark of defiance towards the creature. And for now, that will be it. That'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, Buck, top of the order. What do you want to do?
Buck sees Quarry go running out and screaming to fight, and he sees everybody else is fighting. I'm going to roll just a charisma saving throw for Buck to see if he's brave enough to join them.
Terrorism, so I didn't roll.
Buck got a 5 on charisma on his charisma save. So Buck pees himself a little bit, and he's probably just going to stay hiding.
Okay, stay hidden.
Yeah.
The spider will you see it sort of begins to sort of the beast that's this sort of growling, and then it almost seems to shoot this black strange sort of liquid at you, Kato, and you feel your body be almost wrapped in it, and that will be a natural 20 to hit. But it doesn't do damage. It just means that you are certainly and absolutely caught up in its webbing. But rather than the usual sort of webbing you get from a spider, this is this black ooze which is almost sticking your body together.
Do I have the restrained or grappled condition?
Restrained because of him.
Thank you.
You then see it almost seems to lift you up with one of its claws before it almost throws you across the room. And Buck, the bookcase you are hiding behind, is suddenly shattered in half as Kato suddenly shoots through it and lands on their back. And you would take 8 force damage from the impact of this crash.
That is me taking it? Or Kato?
No. Kato takes 8 force damage from it. And then again, it lets out this scream. And it moves towards Quarry and Illyrian. who are standing next to each other just by this bookcase here. Sylvester, what do you want to do? You can see this creature over the bookcase in front of you, and you can see Quarry and Illyrian standing just before it.
Okay, even if I'm
no, you cannot see Buck. No.
If I move around here, can I see him?
No, not from them. Not from
I'll just say, Mr. Buck, I know it's scary,
Yes.
but I mean, you did want to fight a beast, right? And that looks like a pretty big beast to me. And I will use that movement to get over to here, and I will fire another shot at it. With more of these moths following my arrow. That's a 13 to hit. Alright, I'll stay where I am. Actually, I'll stay one
that
step
will
back,
miss.
and then my turn.
Okay, Kato. You are restrained. You are able to make a strength check to try and burst out the webbing, but that'll be your entire turn.
My entire turn? Not just my action?
Let me double check. No, yes, for this one it is action, because it is technically the normal web action. So it is just the normal action. So you would still have your bonus in movement if you are successful. So give me a strength saving throw, please. Or strength check, it should be, so that'll be athletics. Or acrobatics, but in this case athletics.
Alright. 17.
You are luckily able to break out of this before it can do too much damage to you. Sort of stretching out your arms to a point where you almost like tear yourself away from this liquid and then rip the rest of it off of you.
Kato will use, I assume she's prone, so she'll use half her movement to stand. And then she'll, peek around to, Quarry and, shout out, "May your strikes land true. Take a d6 for Bardic Inspiration."
Thank you kindly.
And that is all she can do. That'll be your turn.
Okay. Illyrian, you're up. Quarry, you're on deck. Illyrian, what do you want to do?
Reaction panic. Yeah, Illyrian just takes a moment to just skim through the spell book. Like, I don't know what I can do here. I'm not meant to be here, and will eventually just settle on raising the finger again and trying to do Mind Sliver again as an action. So another intelligence saving throw. DC
Sure.
13, please.
That's a 6.
Okay. So it takes 4 points of damage, and
Okay.
it takes 1d4 from it the next saving throw it makes.
Yes. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, that's all I can do.
Okay, Quarry. What do you want to do?
Quarry, standing defiant, seeing his companion run through the spellbook, he lunges forward with a mighty swing of Bright Roar, attempting to cut away at this creature's feeling hands or mandibles. Anything he can cut, he is going to attempt to do so. That's Bright Roar.
Nat 20!
Natural 20, and that makes...
Yes.
Well, Divine Smite turns out was awesome, as he feels his confidence and he just surges forward, and perhaps it's merely a product of Quarry's mind, but as he swings, he almost imagines that the blade catches on fire with radiant light as he just slashes the creature. And that will be... So that is... 6 slashing and...
the radiant is also doubled. I mean, like, the
6
dice.
radiant damage.
Yeah, it's not 2d8, it's 4d8, as it is doubled.
Oh, do you want me to roll it again, or just take that and double it? Oh.
Yep. Roll another 2d8.
No. Pardon me.
So it takes
Another 7.
So that is 13 radiant damage and 6 slashing.
It slashes out, trying to cut it in its feelers. And does he manage to...
Not only do you deal that amount of radiant damage, you suspect you've dealt even more through the radiant damage.
Ooh.
As it lets out this bellowing... And you see, where you've cut with it, you almost cut at its neck. The black liquid begins to pour out from that hole, and it almost seems to get woozy. Before you watch, it almost seemed to heal the wound. But where specifically you dealt with the smite, it doesn't seem to be able to heal that area.
Taking note of this, and boasted by the success and the heroism, Quarry almost takes a step forward, a defiant step, closer to the creature's defensive space, and kind of bolsters up his shoulders in a kind of challenging gesture, like, yep, you back up. This isn't... I could hurt you far worse than this. So he's like calling its bluff. And that will be my turn.
Okay, Buck, top of the order. What do you want to do?
Buck is still terrified, but Kato just came flying through the bookshelf he was hiding behind. Buck would probably go over to Kato and be like, Kato, are you okay?
I could be better, but I'm still standing.
Why don't we just, like, he gestures in the opposite direction.
Can't leave. You saw what happened.
What if we try leaving very quietly?
I don't think we'll be able to manage that anymore. You know how
Buck
to
is going
fight,
to, like...
Buck. Do it.
Buck is going to look around the edge of the bookcase at the giant monster, and he's going to try and see how scared he is. Buck will swallow very loudly, and then look and see Quarry fighting this big monster, looking so brave for such a little guy. And Buck will nod, and pull out his sword, and go charging out in a rage. So Buck will bonus action rage, and then run to be beside the creature, and he'll try and make an attack. That's only a 10 to hit, though.
10 will miss.
So Buck goes charging in, this big roar, and then, like, trips over another bookshelf.
Just keep tripping, don't you?
It's the effort that counts.
Buck will like glare around to see if somebody put the books like into the way to try and make him trip.
Small librarian suddenly rushes out of the room.
Okay. On the beast's turn, you guys see there is this opening of its mouth before it almost seems to spit out the horrible black ooze. And this ooze is going on top of all three of the people in front of it, which is Buck, Quarry, and Illyrian. I need all of you to make me dexterity saving throws.
Ooh.
Buck got a 21.
17.
11.
And an 11. Oh dear, Quarry.
Can't keep going forever.
Quarry, you are held in place. So, not restrained. It simply means you have 0 movement, and that's it. But all of you will take some damage. But Quarry will take the full damage. So, all of you would take... Let's see. 8 damage for Quarry, and then 4 damage for Estarion, and 4 damage for Buck.
My temporary.
What kind of damage is this?
This is necrotic.
Okay.
It melts through the bolstering layer of heroism Quarry has summoned.
It is then going to attack Quarry again. As it lines up one of its claws, and it pulls the claw from the ground and then slices down at you, Quarry. 17 to hit.
It just hits.
Make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Ooh, 30.
You are successful with a 13. So you only take 7 piercing.
Oh, only.
Yes, well, it could have been a lot worse, I'll assure you of that.
Alright, so just are these
okay, then that
bookshelves
makes
behind
Sylvester
the
is
creature
up
that
with Kato
are those
on
all like
deck. What do you wanna
keeping
do,
it fenced
Sylvester?
in? Okay, do they look like pretty sturdy bookshelves?
Somewhat. They do, but the size of this thing, if you don't know, this thing isn't large, or this thing is giant. It could easily get over these bookshelves if it wanted to.
I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to
It
try
just
anyway.
isn't attempting to as it stands.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to try and shoot it again. First.
Well, it still has the minus D4 in its saving
That's
throws.
Oh, no, that's an 11 to hit.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Alright, that's my turn.
An 11 will miss. Okay, Kato.
Kato will withdraw her dagger and toss it at the creature.
Roll to hit. Uh, 10 will miss, I'm afraid.
Yeah, okay. Kato will run over, turn and run to the left and try and scale this bookcase.
Okay, give me... let me double check. No, this thing actually wouldn't be difficult to climb, so I won't make you roll for it. You just need to have the movement to get up there. It is 15 foot tall.
Okay, Kato makes it up 5 feet then, and that's...
So, like, 2 shelves, yeah. Well, no, not 2 shelves, like 2 or 3 shelves.
Okay. Yeah, she just wants to make it to the very top, so if it's 15 foot tall, then she only makes it... She has 10 feet left for her next turn.
Okay, Estarion.
Yes. Panicking, as usual.
Would you describe it as a free action?
Absolutely. And if it isn't, I'm gonna cry.
I've decided that panicking is actually an action now, just because of... You can always panic as a free action, because I imagine that's what you're doing as a player.
Yes. Yeah, Estarion's just gonna go for Old Faithful and the book in their hand, just kind of opened by the pages flick open by themselves to good old magic missile page.
Magic missile
At first
Woo!
level.
MVP.
So that is 12 points of force. No. Yeah, 12 points of force. I can... Yeah.
You can math.
I can not math at all.
Okay, yeah. It appears to be sort of writhing in pain Ooh, from that hit.
And, yeah, that's all I can do. Thank you.
You don't act so sad about it. Okay, Quarry, what do you want to do?
Does it still... is it under the effects of Mind's Sliver still? So
Yes, no one's procced the saving throw of it.
Quarry, since he can still not move, and he could take this chance to...
Oh, sorry. It is over. It's until the end of Illyrian's next turn.
Oh.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's true. It's until the end of your next turn, or if it's proc.
Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, so that means it would actually lose its
that's
turn.
fair. Okay, in which case, instead he's just going to try and... No, actually, I'll go with the original plan then, because that changes it. He's just going to pull his arms closer and use lay on hands on himself to give the full 5 hit points back, as he is serving as a meat shield. That is, and bonus action. I don't need to know the distance. Pardon, I'm just quickly looking up clarifications, see if I can do this. No. Kato is too far away. I was going to give you a small boost, but never mind. That'll be it then. That'll be the end of my turn. He's just holding a defensive posture, ready to defend his companions.
Okay. Staying nice and defensive then.
Yep, I was going to say it possibly push someone out of its area of effect, but I don't think anyone wants to be moved. Everyone's looking pretty comfy.
Yeah. Okay. And also pulling someone out of its area of effect, if you were doing so, would still trigger his area of effect.
But it's not by their consent.
Or trigger his attack of opportunity.
As they're not... Well, generally, as long as it's not by their own consent that they move, it usually doesn't. Although that's...
Then you would have to be forcibly moving an ally to do so. And they would still technically be consenting to be moved, because I'd be surprised if somebody would let their teammate forcibly move them.
That's why
it's difficult.
Kinetic shove my guy to just throw him.
Yeah, but using telekinetic shove on allies is even then it's a confusing thing. Okay, well I'll go over you a little bit on that, because it is technically possible, but only under certain circumstances. Buck, what do you want to do?
Buck is going to try and get on the other side of this creature. I'm going to try and go under its legs.
Just so you know, you cannot flank it. It is too large.
It's too large to flank?
Yeah, because you can flank anything up to 2 sizes larger than you. This is 4 times larger.
Fair enough. I will still try and get to the other side of it.
Okay. You have enough movement to reach its other side, so you are able to do so.
Yeah, I can get over there. And then Buck is going to... I'm weaving between giant spider legs, and then while I'm going to try and, cut at its belly with my rapier.
Okay. So, while you're sliding underneath, you're going to try and cut the belly. You know what? I'm going to give you advantage, because that's cool.
That is 25 to hit.
Okay, roll me damage.
That is going to be 9 piercing and 3 extra for my sneak attack.
Okay, so 12, and it gives out this sort of angered screech as you slice it right across the belly. And you manage to stand back on your feet on the other side of it.
And then that's all that I think Buck can really do, so he's just going to hold up his shield and try and hide behind it.
Okay, well, it's going to get angry at you, Buck, so it's going to attack you. Quarry, you're able to move again as the effect it put on you is over. But it's going to attack you, Buck, because it's not very happy with you. 24 to hit.
That'll hit Buck.
Need a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 13.
All of you are hitting just enough to save. I mean, it's mathematically that makes sense, but still, you're not beating it by a lot. So you take 8 piercing damage as it
Which
sort of
is-
like cuts into you.
Which is halved because I'm raging.
You are indeed a ragey boy. So 4 damage for you. And then it will actually make a second attack on this turn because it is able to do so. Because it's under the threshold required. And will attack Illyrian.
Okay.
Oh,
16 to
I
hit.
wish to use my reaction to use protection
Yeah.
and pull out my shield to try and block it, so it has disadvantage for that attack.
Okay, well, I'll roll again then. Let's see. Oh, second roll's higher, 19.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you need to make me Constitution saving throw, please.
6.
Then it will affect you. You take 11 piercing, the highest it's rolled on that damage, but you also take an extra 6 necrotic damage.
Illyrian's down.
And that 6 is also taken from your max, so you are in a terrible state after that attack. You watch Quarry as you impose your shield in the way, but your shield is almost like smashed away like by the sheer force of the piercing, like, well, not even like the piercing sort of like stab forward it does with its claw, which hits Illyrian right in the chest, and it pulls out, and you see this ooze is almost pouring from inside Illyrian now. Sylvester, what do you want to do?
Alright, first things first. I'm going to try and shoot it. Right. So 17 to hit.
Okay, roll to hit.
Alright, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it out. As like the owl
That'll
flies,
hit.
the swarm kind of gathers around it like almost like an enormous fist, and I'm going to use the effect of gathered swarm to make it make a DC 13 strength saving throw, or be pushed 15 feet horizontally. I'll try and push it through these bookshelves.
Okay, strength save.
Gets shoved 15 feet away from me and takes 9 piercing damage.
That's a 12.
Oh shit.
You shove it through the bookshelves, and the bookshelves like smash, and they begin to fall all around you as these books begin to collapse onto the floor. And you throw it into another set of bookshelves behind these ones, and I'll say not only does it take that 9 damage, I'll tack on an extra 5 from the impact it takes. And this thing is barely standing now. When it does stand, it almost seems to stand with a sway as it lets out another angry screech of
I'm just going to
of
run up
pain
in front of it and
confusion.
stand in front of it
Anything else on your
so
turn,
that I
Sylvester?
can't get them. Actually, do I have enough movement for that? Yeah, I've got just... No, actually, I would only be able to get to here, but I'll still stand in front of Illyrian here. That's my turn.
Okay, Kato, what do you want to do?
Kato's eyebrows furrow as she feels the dragon's breath fade from her. But she didn't see what happened to Illyrian, and for all she knows, she just lost concentration and didn't just go down. So she scales her way, the rest of the way up the bookshelf and runs along it once she reaches the top. And then locks eyes on the creature, and the condensation that's gathered on its head from the hex suddenly freezes as if to give it a brain freeze as she casts Mind Sliver.
Okay, saving throw. What does that have to make? Or beat Robert?
DC 15.
Of? Wisdom?
Intelligence.
Okay. That's a -1. So it's a fail, for sure. How much damage does it take? And obviously it takes the effect of the D4 on its next save, but how much damage do you deal?
It looks like I need to fix what's on my sheet, so it takes 1d6 psychic.
So just roll the 1d6 for me. I know of the other effect. So
Yep.
5! Very nice roll.
Yep, and that will be her turn.
Okay, Illyrian. I need you to make me a whispered death saving throw.
Hold on. I've never done a whisper.
I will Actually, since you're on Beyond D&D Beyond, you can just make one because only I can see it anyway.
Oh, okay. Shit. Fuck. I absolutely know what I'm doing.
You are a pro at this. Don't worry.
Absolutely. How the...
You should have on your sheet.
Oh, yeah.
At the top where it says death saves. Just click on that.
On to DM.
Yep. Okay. Quarry, you're up. What do you want to do?
Quarry getting up, momentarily kind of seeing the kind of damage this horrific creature has done. He almost instinctively kind of just lets the kind of shield drop to the floor as he kind of grabs his sword with his other hand, now two-handing it, and he is just going to kind of rush like through the broken ruins of the bookshelves and just attempt to kind of kick off the bookshelves and just jump at the creature with his two-handed blade to just like slash and strike into it, kind of practically drooling in rage at seeing one of his new friends get taken down in such a fashion.
Okay, roll to hit for me. Two-handed.
Please, Bright Roar. Please. 17.
Ooh, that will definitely hit. Very nice.
9 slashing damage.
Okay. It takes the 9 and it is very angry about taking that 9. Anything else?
He just kind of stand there, holding the blade and just staring up at it in defiance. But no, that'll be it.
Okay, Buck, you're up. What do you want to do?
Buck is still in a rage, and while normally Buck would be very worried about Illyrian, when he's raging, he is angry. He's going to keep trying to take out this monster. So Buck will raise his rapier up and just go blindly charging, heavy footsteps plodding in the ground as he does. And he's going to get a nat 20.
That is indeed a nat 20.
Yes.
So that'll do 16 plus another 7 from sneak attack.
Oh, hell yes.
My goodness. Buck, how do you want to do
Woo!
this?
I think Buck would be like blindly slashing, and then he'd look over at Quarry next to him and kind of gesture for the two of them to attack together for the final hit.
Oh, the power of friendship guides our blades.
And then the two of us raise our swords in unison and bring it down and just start cutting at the creature's face.
Ripping, tearing.
You cut at this thing's face and you leave it lying there as a mess, decapitated. And as its body lays there motionless, you watch the head begin to move as it almost seems to have this black goo drip from it to connect it to the neck, and the head is pulled back onto the neck, and the body's legs begin to move again as it returns to its full height, its full strength, its full power, and lets out this primal screech. Once again. Quarry, you feel a tap on your shoulder. Excuse me, sir? Sleeping in the libraries is well allowed. It's not encouraged overnight. I'm afraid we'll be closing down for the day, and I'd have to ask all of you to leave. All of you awaken on a table in the library. except for one, as Illyrian still lies unconscious.
Quarry merely surges upwards because me, the player, forgot that I am level 2, and he just rushes over and just, in a panic, confused at what's going on and its apparent dream, just like full on slams into Illyrian and just uses the remaining 5 lay on hand points to heal, even if they
Yeah,
are
we're level 3
injured.
by the way. We're level 3.
Quarry doesn't know.
Yeah.
We are. Quarry didn't know that either.
You know, there was something in my notes I think you went over. I've realised what it was. Yeah. Oh well, the healing, Illyrian, you are in this dark, empty place until you suddenly see this light, and your eyes open, and you find yourself at a table in this
You
library.
alright?
What happened?
Quarry just hugs you. It's like a bad dream.
Elaine just stares at Quarry awkwardly for a moment, looks at everyone else, and then just kind of awkwardly pats Quarry on the back like they're there.
Please tell me you saw this one with the giant spider and the darkness and the endless libraries and Kato jumped on a bookshelf. You kind of magic missiled.
I don't remember Miss Cato jumping on a bookshelf, but I do. Oh, where is it? Did you defeat it?
It wasn't real. Quarry rather invasively kind of just starts rummaging through your outfit, trying to see if he can find the wound that took you down, kind of, or the rip in your clothes. Proof that it wasn't just in our heads.
You see no ripping in the clothes, no effect on your clothes whatsoever, but when you actually take a look, underneath the clothes, the wounds are still there. There is a massive, barely healed wound in your chest, Illyrian, that is still dripping a bit of blood. And in fact, it almost seems like your blood is a bit darker.
Mean, if that really was what an end beast is like, I suppose that means we need to be better prepared for the real thing. Although, there do seem to be some rather disturbing dreams passing about through here. I'm not really sure how we got out of the market, if that was something that happened in a dream.
What if he or they can just do that whenever? They could drive us into exhaustion and we'd just drop dead.
Kato looks contemplative. Is there some kind of check I can make to see if, the end beast can keep doing that?
I would say make me an Arcana or Nature check.
Arcana, there's not a difference, so.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. You are unsure.
There is a very loud snoring coming from Buck as he is still face first on the table.
Yeah.
I only hope not, but we're injured.
We are in a library.
Obviously,
Do you think there are any books
something
here about what
happened.
Iron Beasts can or can't do?
How Do we know it was the beast?
Well, I'm afraid the library is closing, so if you'd like to find out, you're welcome
How
to
did
come
we
back
get
tomorrow.
here? If you don't mind my asking.
Goodness, you've been asleep almost all day. I don't watch all the entrances and exits, I'm afraid. I'm merely stationed at the main one, and you did not pass through there, so... Some woman came in asking about you, but I told her you were asleep and she seemed happy to leave. Said she'd meet you back where you were staying, or some lark like that.
Mrs. Librarian.
Yes. I have a name, but I'll take that as a
Are
name.
there... Do you know if... He kind of leans in conspiratorially. Do you know if there are any giant, nightmarish spiders in this library?
Oh, yes, many of them. In your dreams, of course. No, this is a library. It's not even that large one at that. I've requested many times for the Lord Cyprata to increase our lovely library, but he's yet to do so. I would kindly ask again for you to wake your friend and leave. We've got to take care of this place overnight. Only people allowed in there overnight are those with nighttime
I wouldn't
passes,
stay here when this...
or students of the academy.
Shouldn't stay
Yes,
here.
we'll be going. Thank you for passing the message along from our friend. Question. We took an alternate exit out of the black market, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thinking back, does Kato recall seeing it when we, entered the black market?
No.
The new exit have been created by the beast?
No, you've no idea. You got a 4 on the
Fair
Arcana
enough,
check.
fair enough. But yeah, anyways, Kato will wake up our companion and start to try and shuffle us out.
No, you push on Buck, but Buck does not wake up. Buck, you are in a dark room with a few candles on the walls. There are chains around your hands that tie you to a table. You've been waiting a long time when the door finally opens and this man walks in and sort of looks over his shoulder and says, I'll take care of this one. And then seems to speak to someone else as the door closes. This man is dressed in this very confusing sort of attire where he has almost this sort of white shirt, but wears on top of it these robes with this unfamiliar sign for you on these robes. Ones that appear to mark them as a member of something. Something you would later learn to be the Order of the Magisters. This man sits in front of you and sort of seems to look you over and says, "Son, look, the way I see it, I think you are a good kid. Good kid who got mixed up with some bad apples. Would you put it that way?
Buck nods.
And if you are a good kid, I'm sure you were raised right, were you?"
Buck thinks back to his mother and his sister and says, "No, sir."
That's what I thought. You see, people like you, they come to me all the time. These good kids who've had the good beat out of them. Don't know if that's at home, if that's through your friends, through an academy, through anything, but it's a tough world out there. I understand that. Most everyone understands that. And if we go around punishing all the good kids who end up in a bad place, we'd have no one left. So I'm gonna ask you something simple. Something easy. And if you were to answer honestly, if you were to tell me the truth, me and you wouldn't have any issues. Would that be fair to say? We'd be happy and content.
Yes, sir.
Well then, I hope you don't mind if I ask you to cooperate, to be kind. All I want to know, genuinely, honestly, and sort of leans forward. Look, he's not going to press charges. You just have to tell me about Diego. Are you willing to do that? The man seems to slide a piece of paper over to you.
Buck thinks about Diego and holds out his hand. I'm gonna need a pen.
He nods and produces a quill, places in front of you with an ink pot.
Buck will start writing.
Once you've finished writing, the man takes the paper and looks at you and says, "You're a good kid, okay? This guy's not pressing charges. We just need you to know this, and that means we're not going to press charges either. You are more than welcome to go out there and just enjoy your life. But he did ask this Valor, I believe his name was, if you'd be interested in speaking with him. He said he'd attached a address, but considering you burglarized the place, I think you know where it is, right?"
Buck sheepishly nods.
I don't trust this man, but it was part of his conditions for not pressing you charges, and I didn't want to press charges either. So now we got this. You're free to do as you wish. If you wish to speak with this man, go right ahead, kid. He stands up and he walks to the door. And he turns around and says, "But if I find out that you get involved in anything like this ever again, kid, I don't care if it's in another city, I don't care if it's in another country. I'll look for you and I'll take you down myself. Do you understand, kid?"
Yes, sir.
That's a good kid. He walks out the door and closes it, and as he does, the cuffs around you break. And as you look up, you are no longer in this room. You are now sitting by a fire with a plate in front of you with some biscuits and a teapot on it. And sat on the other side of you is this older gentleman, sat with this one foot sort of on top of the other, as he sort of curiously looks at you and sort of gives this sort of smile before he takes this swig of his drink and then leans in. "You are an interesting one. You never really stood a chance, I'll admit. When I first heard of Diego, I immediately knew to take a look at him, and soon enough my little birds found out about your attempt. And, well, you never stood a chance, but you... I think you knew that almost, and yet you went along with it anyway. Why?"
Because my friend wanted me to.
And your friends mean a lot to you, don't they?
Buck nods. They're all I have left. Well, all I had left. And Buck looks down.
And yet, you turn him in for your freedom? Why?
Buck thinks to the night of the burglary, to the old man sitting before him, and immediately realizing how outclassed they all were, to how Diego told Buck to hold him off, and Diego himself ran away, leaving Buck. And he looks at this old man now, and he says, "'Cause he's not my friend anymore, if he ever was."
See, that's the thing I could tell right from the start. They abandoned you. And you kept trying. Even when you knew you were outclassed, because you saw that as the right way. And you have already learned one of the most important rules. And that's that everyone is out there for themselves. But I'm here to teach you more rules, the many rules that you've yet to learn. The first of which being know everything about everyone. So when you were taken into incarceration and I learned your name, I learned everything of you. Your mother, your sister. You really don't have anywhere to go now, do you?
Buck shakes his head.
I've a free room in this building which has just been me for a long time. But if you'd like to stay, learn a thing or two from a man who's been doing it a lot longer than you, I'll be welcome to take you in, Buck.
You would do that for me?
Because you and I share this similar flaw within us, Buck, but I believe it can be a strength with you. We have a heart.
Buck has tears welling up in his eyes. I'd like that very much.
Come, let's have some dinner. As he takes his stand. And as we do, we shall end there for this week.